South Sudan, the youngest nation in the world, a nation born from a history of warfare, famine, and genocide. In July of 2011, South Sudan finally became an independent state, breaking away from Sudan in the north after decades of bloodshed that ravaged the region, resulting in countless deaths. Since its independence, relations with Sudan have been tense, to say the least. Most recently, centered around the oil-rich border region, to which both nations claim as their own. This oil-rich region provides the majority of oil in the region. Thus, whoever controls the oil controls the money. Prior to the vast nation of Sudan splitting into two independent states, many of the nation's civilians endured inconceivable hardships. Even before Sudan's original independence in 1956, the North and South were locked in civil war. The Christian, mostly African South, feared that the newly independent nation would be ruled predominantly by the Islamic Arab North. The resulting civil war lasted all the way until 1972. But peace was shaky, and a decade later, the war was reignited after the North imposed Islamic law on all of Sudan, including the non-Muslim South. In the next 22 years, war and famine would cost the lives of over 2 million people, a chronic, exceptionally cruel warfare that would leave 4 million displaced refugees in its wake. Peace talks finally began in 2003, and 2 years later, in 2005, a peace agreement was signed granting the South autonomy for 6 years, followed by Southern independence in 2011. This secession of the South has not been a smooth transition. Tensions have continued to rise, coming to a head as the South took over the Heglig oil fields that the North claims as their own. Since then, Northern fighter jets have been bombarding the South, prompting the Southern President Salva Kiir to state that the North has declared war.
Our neighbor Khartoum has declared war against the Republic of South Sudan.
Though there has been no formal declarations, the Southern President's comments are sure to stoke tensions between the two Sudans. China, Sudan's largest economic partner, maintains huge interest in the Heglig oil fields, has urged restraint in what is quickly becoming a regional powder keg. Both sides are reinforcing their troop numbers and digging into trenches along the newest border in the world. The UN and neighboring countries are urging the return to dialogue instead of casualties, but in a region that has known very little of peace and is instead inclined to bloodshed, it is very possible that the world's youngest nation could be on the brink of a full-scale warfare, a situation the rest of the world would rather not see repeated. And that wraps up today's episode for World Horizons. We will continue to bring you the latest story from around the world that matter to you. This has been me, Wichitra Dongdi. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next episode. สวัสดีค่ะ